It is time once again to throw the Mazda MX-5s around for a 30-minute race. It's the Heusinkveld Advanced Mazda MX-5 series here on the iRacing service, and this week we are at Rudskogen. It's going to be one heck of a race here for you this afternoon. Welcome to the Racing Line Network, as we will go ahead and get the starting grid up on your screen here in just a few moments time. But first, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the schedule coming into tonight's race. It's qualifying wrapping up here in a few moments, but let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule coming in. Last week it was Nicholas Shepard who had won at the Long Beach Street Circuit. Today it's Rudskogen. Next week we head to the rescanned Sonoma Raceway. Roadlanta next week, the week after that, and then we head to Mexico for the GP layout in mid-October. But first, let's go ahead and go through the starting grid, because we do have this race to get through first before we head to Sonoma for next week. And this week we start off with Nicholas Shepard up on the front row once again. Charles Wolfe, half a second behind, has qualified second. He'll start on the outside of the front row of Nicholas Shepard. Third place is Michael Folds. Fourth place has Matthew Bartlett, starting off alongside Folds in that second row. Then the next row we have Tony Wallace, who would be rounding out the fifth place position. And then Gregorio Moreno Jr. will start off in the sixth place position. Next row holds Matt Mullins. John Miller III starts off in eighth. Daniel DeLiberti starts ninth. Good to see him back for this week. Michael Vanneau starts off in 10th. Kyle Jagenski starts 11th. 12th place is Frankie Sugamelli. 13th place will be holding Travis Ewart. 14th place is Mateus Ribeiro. Rounding out the top 15 is going to be Eric Nixon, and then 16th place is Kevin Kramer. Michael Coates, the last driver to set a qualifying time, sets himself in the 17th place position, and then the last three cars rounding out the top 20 and the 20 car grid are I believe that is Michael Rosa, with Ben Snell starting off at 19th, and then Pete Loops rounding out the 20th place position. I'll go ahead and fade it into your live pictures here, as the drivers will set themselves up on the grid. One heck of a race here, starting off at Rudskogen. Drivers line themselves up on the front row. 20 cars once again, an estimated 20 laps, appropriately enough. And right now you can hear the sound, of course, of the safety car, but while the engine is always running on that, we don't need that for this week, or any week for that matter, since we don't deal with safety cars here in this series. But Michael Folds set himself up on the grid. Just two more cars left to grid. It's going to be 30 minutes on the clock as per usual. There's Charles Wolfe, one driver left to grid, and all eyes will be on the starting lights here. The streamer driver is just making the last second changes, and we're about to get going here. The revs rise as the driver's eyes go on the lights, and we are green flag racing here at Rudskogen. Looks like a relatively clean start. Everyone makes it through safe and sound throughout the first couple corners. Frankie Sugamelli battling it out with Travis Ewart for the 11th place position. Kyle Genske has rounded out the top 10. The top 5 has shuffled around just a little bit. Michael Foltz got a better start than Charles Wolfe. We can get a look at that here once the field cycles themselves out. Daniel Gilberti chose to start in pit road. He did not grid, as the drivers all the way in the back half of the field are scrambling for every which way for all their track position here. Number 3 of Kyle Genske trying to hold off, trying to defend against Michael Verneau, who gets turned in the middle of the field and in front of another driver. That is Ribeiro. Mateus has T-boned the side as Rosa has also fallen back just a couple positions. I don't believe any spin has occurred for Rosa. Oh, contact is made though, as losing control is Kevin Kramer into the tire wall. Waiting for the drivers to go through. He makes contact. The field already split every which way here. The top 10. Here's the battle for 10th place. Frankie Sugamelli, Michael Coates, who has made his way up 6 positions already. He's about to make his way up a 7th position. It's likely bad luck for Coates on the qualifying run. I was about to say, seeing Michael Coates all the way in the very back is very out of character for him. We see here as he makes his way through down to the 10th place position, or up to 10th. And he does have the pace available to him. Nicholas Shepard, Michael Folds, 1st and 2nd on track. Charles Wolfe, 3rd. Matthew Bartlett, 4th. And Moreno Jr. rounding out the top 5. Let's go ahead and see. We're going to have to go through a couple rewinds here, so bear with us. We'll see if we can get the start of Charles Wolfe here. We'll get there eventually. We're getting there. I think we're just about at that point here. But take a look at Michael Foltz there on the left-hand side. This is at the grid, so look at Charles Wolfe on the right-hand side. The revs have risen. So at the start, it was pretty even for everybody. The entire top 4 all even. Was it just with the preferred lane? Yep. That's what it was. And Charles was hard on the brakes there on corner entry, so probably just trying to not outbrake himself. As we go ahead and go back to live pictures to see Folds chasing down Nicholas Shepard. Wolfe has actually gotten a slowdown here. Just when we come back live, we're going to have to take a look back to see what happened to, for at least this week, number 14 of Charles Wolfe. He's already slow here. Was it out of the chicane, possibly? And he's been slow for a while. We're going to have to keep going for a while. Apologies for the constant rewinds. We get there at some point. Was it here? Was it further back? Just uncharacteristically slow, and by this point he was already letting the drivers through. So we'll run back one more time and see. Not from necessarily this angle, but maybe a little bit further back. I'm not sure. The only thing I can see, the only thing I can assume is that it was a slowdown. Maybe that was it. Just extended the track limits a little bit, but there's no way it could have been for that much, surely. Wolfe in this case, the first car in the number 14. Everything's fine here. He's not letting Bartlett through. Could have been a hardware issue as well that had developed. Yeah, he just went way off. I think he just outbraked himself here, really. But out of the final corner, he was slow. He was all the way to the right-hand side. Let's ride on board. Seems like he must have had a slowdown of some sort, but genuinely not sure what that could have been. But Regardless, Wolf does sit P9 right now. We'll go ahead and get a look at the first lap incidents as well here once we get the chance. We might have a chance right here as well. So go ahead and take a look. Kevin Kramer's incident. Well, let's take a look first at Michael Vanot's incident. In the number 19 machine. A little bit wide, and then just incidental contact, tries to protect the inside lane from the 13, and then just wham, nowhere to go for Rosa there. In fact, that was not Rosa. Correction, that is Mateus. Let's go ahead and get a onboard here. Just listen in. Oh, just really bad luck there. And then just moments after that, we'll stick with this replay here. Just moments after that, Kevin had gotten loose on corner exit. I'll see it right here as well. Around the outside he goes, hard on the throttle, just loses contact. In fact, no contact was made there. Down to Liberty will make his way on the tail end of the incident, but no contact there. As Mateus is still trying to recover from the first lap incident. Just nowhere to go. You see the front end is kind of pressed in a little bit on that left front where that hood is disconnected effectively. Position swap between De Liberty and Loops for the 17th place position. De Liberty up to 17th. Well, now that I have a chance, let's go ahead and take a look through the field. 5 laps in out of an estimated 20. Nicholas Shepard leads, folds here in second. He was on the tail end of Nicholas Shepard, but Foltz may have pushed his luck here with a couple track limits. That's the only thing I can think of. Either that or he had swung the car wide out of a corner and almost lost control. Matthew Bartlett sitting here in 3rd place, and he's got a whole host of cars just behind him here. Rosa and Eric Nixon battling side by side for 14th. Rosa up to that 14th place position. So Eric Nixon will be on the back bumper trying to figure out which lane will be the most optimal here. It's pretty good so far through the corner, and he'll just follow in the tire tracks here, as this is a brewing battle for about the 12th place position. Speaking of brewing battles, hello, look at Matt, John Miller going by Matt Mullins. Just in time to see that pass for 5th place. Mullins a little bit on the back foot. Here comes Tony Wallace trying to make something of this on corner entry. Side by side they go. Preferred lane for Wallace. I was going to say it turns into preferred lane for Mullins, but he just was not able to stay alongside there. And just behind these two, Genske and Wolf battling for the 8th place spot. You can see Genske, just by the behavior of the car, just by the placement, he's going a little bit defensive here. Look at how much he's just touching the brake pedal there for that number 3. He's just trying to get that car to steer. Being very, very careful. Not fully on the brakes, no doubt. Just tapping the brake pedal ever so slightly. But that's going to leave the door open for Charles Wolf, who is there as we ride on board. Just a little bit of contact is made. And both of these two will be side by side for 8th place. Preferred lane should be going to Genske in the 3 car here. Side by side they'll go. Coates has made his way up to the back end of this battle. Remember, started 17th, qualified 17th more accurately. Look at Charles Wolf with a switchback to the left-hand side. Hard on the brakes he'll go. Does Genske return the switchback in favor? He does. He's alongside. And they'll go side by side. Preferred lane to Genske. Preferred lane back to Wolf. Switchback maybe for Genske. He does get there. He does make contact. And somehow, despite making the contact, they will stay going forward. I genuinely thought, great job by Charles to hang on to that. I thought he was about to go around there for a second. 20 minutes to go for these drivers at the line. Genske tries for a switch back to the left-hand side. It's not going to work. Does he try for the right-hand side here, mid-corner? Not really able to do so. But he will stick with the tail end of this battle here. The tail end of the number 14 of Charles. Rosa and Ewart side by side. So they'll make their way side by side down the straightaway into this corner that Genski and Wolf have made their way into. Rosa makes his way up to the 13th place position past Verneau. There is Genski trying to chase down Charles Wolf, and you see how much battling can be a disadvantage as well. The amount of these guys, the amount of times these two have gone side by side, it has separated themselves off from effectively the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And this has also brought in Michael Coates into this battle. Genski on the curbs just a little bit, using all the racetrack basically. Sugamelli and Rosa battling side by side here for 12th place. Just shuts the door is Sugamelli. Into the final corner we go. Does Rosa peek to the inside? Does he put the bumper to the inside? Not able to do so there. Down into turn 1. This is going to be a prime opportunity for Rosa to try and make a move here. Well, I would say that, but not so much in the slipstream as much as I thought. Tony Wallace, Matt Mullins battling for 6th place. They swap positions here, going down into and through turns 1, 2, and 3. Does Mullins try and go for it? Doesn't seem to be so. Genski trying to break the slipstream of Coates, who is just behind him. This could be effectively two separate battles here in the same camera shot. Oh, wait a minute. Genski has gotten passed by Michael Coates. And look at Genski, just tries to put the nose there. That does put Coates offline. No contact was made. Brilliant racecraft by both of those drivers here. I feel like there's going to be a move here down into this corner here, so we're not going to go to the replay yet. All right, we might have a chance to look, at least right now, but I want to take a look at that placement here. We'll run this back just one more time. Just a little bit further back. Watch the car placement here of Genski on Coates. Coates overshoots the corner a little bit. Genski just places the nose there, and he backs out. But even still, Coates does decide, well, he gets loose, and he does hang on to it, but he does decide to give the space. And back to live pictures, this is the gap between these two. Let's go back to P12 just about. I would say P11 by extension because Sugamelli is ahead, kind of leading this mini pack here. There's Sugamelli, and then we got number 8 machine, Ben Snell, leading this group of 12th, 13th, and 14th of Maiko Rosa. Not Michael Rosa, but Maiko Rosa. That's going to be a tongue twister. And then Travis Ewer in the 14th place spot, not too far behind, quite literally, just about 3 car lengths. But look at this, to Sugamelli. Snell might try and make a peek here to the 11th place spot. Simply placing the nose in the open spot could be enough to deter somebody. We saw it just one lap ago here. As between Genski and Wolf. But no move here from Snell to Sugamelli. But Sugamelli, look at the drifting by Snell, who goes wide, just holds onto it twice. No, spins. He tried to hang on to it and just keeps it off the guardrail, I think. I think he just barely kept it off the Armco. But I think he's going to, there's no way he's going to tow it back. I think he's trying to, he hasn't towed it behind the wall just yet. Now he has. What a shame. He definitely would have been able to stay in that battle, I believe, I'm sure, even if he didn't tow back. But, man, what a shame for Snell to potentially tow. And he has, officially retired. So, one retirement just before the halfway point of this race. Sugamelli in line. Or I should say Rosa in line with Sugamelli, quite literally. But look at this, to the outside. Shockingly, on turn number 1, they nearly make contact. Sugamelli early on the brakes and just holds off and just defends against Maiko Rosa. Sugamelli is going to be on the defensive here, no doubt. We see a move by Rosa. Rosa's looking to the inside. Harder on the brakes goes Rosa. Does have the preferred lane. He is side by side, although the better racing line goes to Sugameli. Switchback, right hand side, on the racing line as well. He'll follow through with Rosa. Does he try and peek the nose somewhere? No, not able to do so. I saw Travis Ewert. Travis was trying to maybe put a nose in on the inside. Wait a minute, was that Verneau that went around? It is Verneau that went around. I knew I saw something strange. And the car just broke traction there. Get a look from up above to see the behavior of the car. Does he nail the curb just a little bit? No, it may have just been an air and downshift. Was trying to keep the car in line, but unable to do so. Around and through went Nixon and Diliberti battle for their own position here. In fact, we'll stick with this replay here, as Diliberti had made his way by Eric Nixon. We are now effectively the closest, one of the closest battles on track, I should say. Tony Wallace trying to defend 6th place right now between from Mullins and Wolf. Then we have Genski and Coates kind of in their own battle, but that's not really. They're kind of isolated from each other by extension. And then it's Sugameli and Ewert battling for the 12th place position. This is going to be a sequence of corners here that could throw off Mullins. And I think Mullins has kind of gotten thrown off a little bit. Here comes Charles Wolf to the inside. Nearly makes contact. Almost slides. Almost does, pulls what Verneau unintentionally did here just a lap ago. Look at this. Wolf goes right to the inside lane. Sees the opening spot. Goes for it. Clean pass right here. He does give space. Gives a lot of space as well. Mullins will, as a result, fall back to the 8th place spot instead of 4th place. This has brought in Genski and kind of Coates just a little bit. I'd say Coates is literally and figuratively in line to join this battle here. I think Genski may have gotten a slowdown there on the corner exit. Yep. I was about to say that couldn't be, maybe that was the case for Wolf. What had happened there is that he did get a slowdown at some point. We just didn't see where, but for Genski, that corner exit, run this back just one more time. We'll give it 5 seconds. It might be 10 by this point. One more. There we go. Should have done 10 seconds in the first place. But right here, everything is fine up until here. Now the rules say that your right side tires have to be on the curbing. And we can see just from this one shot from all 3 different cars is that, well, one of them does not have their tires on the curbing. For Coates especially, I think he just barely kept it in by millimeters because Genski pulls aside and then Coates goes through. In fact, Coates is actually a little bit slow as well, so I wonder if he had the same thing, just not as aggressive of a slowdown penalty. But regardless, we'll go back to the live pictures here. Look at just up ahead here. Matt Mullins trying to make his way through on Tony Wallace. Mullins trying to get back up to the 7th place position here. Well, this battle continues to brew. Let's go ahead and jump up to the 4th place battle here because Moreno and Miller will be battling here for the 4th place spot, rather. They could be battling for the 3rd place spot, depending on how things go. No change in the back here, but Kevin Kramer and Daniel Diliberti have swapped positions because Daniel Diliberti has gone off the racetrack, as evidenced by the gravel on his tires that he's dragged onto the racetrack. Was it a solo spin? Oh, I would count that as just keeping it off the wall. Yes, he physically made contact, but he just held on to it. So right here, I can already tell just by the body language of the car is already unsettled. It is not holding on. You can see the brakes. He just kept it, and then just keeps it again. Just a little bit of a tap. So if anything, Yeah, you wouldn't even notice that. That's under the tires as well, so that's something you wouldn't really notice, realistically speaking. Going back to live pictures, battle continues once again for the 6th place spot. We'll jump up ahead once again to P4, by extension P3, just a little bit. They're going through the gravel there that Diliberti had dragged back onto the racing line. And all of them make it through relatively unscathed. And these tires are, I believe, on the Mazdas. I believe they are semi-slick, so I believe they are treaded to a certain extent. Could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked at the dry tires of a Mazda MX-5. But either way, this battle will continue, even though the fact that they're not quite literally side by side every single corner, this still is a battle in trying to get the best line carry, the best momentum through these corners. Just trying to be faster than your opponents, and that's what Matt Mullins is about to do here. In fact, he'll stay in line here. Very interesting by Matt Mullins to not try and make a move on Tony Wallace. Here comes Genski to the inside. Genski's not going to wait around here. Nearly makes contact as he gets loose out of the corner. I think I know why Mullins now has started to stay in line. He does not want to lose that battle, that draft specifically, to Charles Wolf. Just up ahead. Oh, Moreno is off. Moreno has gone off in the same spot that Diliberti has gone off. So that means Miller has gone up to 4th place, and it's the same thing that happened to Daniel Diliberti here on corner exit. Oh, maybe not. Different corner especially. And it was a race for position, and this is just him rejoining right in front of these guys. We'll come back to live pictures here. You see in the background, Coates makes his way through up past Moreno. Now we'll go back to live pictures. They should be around turn 1. And Moreno goes right by Coates. Here we go, onto the front straight. So now Charles is P5, Tony Wallace is P6. 7.5 minutes remaining. If you've been paying attention to the gap throughout the if you've been paying attention to the gap throughout the between the leaders throughout the past, say, call it 10 minutes, you would see that Folds has drastically fallen back off the pace of Nicholas Shepard. I don't believe there's any particular reason aside from potentially it could be off tracks or slowdown penalties, but otherwise, nothing. I'm extending the definition of this word a little bit, but nothing remarkable in terms of a spin for Folds. Genski is going to make his way by just shuts the door on Matt Mullins. Does Mullins answer back here? No, not yet. He is biding his time, I believe. I can understand that Mullins would kind of want to bide his time just a little bit, because there isn't really a reason to be battling between each other for here. At least not until the final lap, so we'll see how things fare for Mullins on the last lap. Otherwise, he's just kind of waiting in line, being patient, just trying to make it to the end, which is also a possibility. Genski, however, is about to just chop off the nose of Matt Mullins. A pretty narrow exit. That's going to set himself up, I believe, to potentially get passed by Mullins here. Mullins, if he can go hard on the brakes, he could have a shot going side by side, but decides against it. Definitely not that brave going to this sequence of corners, and I do not blame him. I would not do that whatsoever, especially from 4 car lanes back. The move would just not be on by that point. All right, does Genski do the same thing that he's been doing for a few laps, which is trying to have an advantageous pass here into this corner? Oh, he makes contact with the back bumper of Tony Wallace. Wallace holds firm, whether intentionally or not, in terms of Wallace keeping car control. But look at this. Wallace goes on the racing line and just shuts out Genski. He's forcing Genski to make his own mistakes, daring him to make the move, daring him to keep the nose there. Wallace will go sideways. He just holds on to it. That opens the door for Genski here for P6. Genski goes alongside, preferred lane to Mullins. Genski goes for the switchback. Mullins defends. Well, Mullins tries to go for the attack. Wallace defends, rather. Does Genski try and go for the switchback? At least a half switchback, if you will. Tries for it, not able to make a move though. Great defensive drive by Tony Wallace, sliding all over the place. And still just trying to keep the car in line. Genski will swing the car out wide, and here he comes to the inside. No. Thought for sure there'd be a move on from there, but no. This battle continues on down into turn 1. But man, what a defense by Tony Wallace. Here comes Genski. Nope, tries to look for it. At least shows the nose, but no actual move there to the entry of turn number 1 here. 4 minutes left. Just over 4 minutes left. I have 2 laps remaining here at the start-finish line. So that is how things are tracking right now. We'll keep an eye on this battle for the moment. I'll let you know when the leader crosses the start-finish line. Frankie Sugamelli has a black flag. He is off the racetrack. What has happened to Frankie Sugamelli, who takes the tow back to pit road? Well, this is definitely in turn number 1, that's for sure. Didn't have a camera on there. It's kind of in an awkward spot. What's happened to the 13th Sugamelli? He's just offline already. What could have been a... It may have just been a pressing issue. Not sure what Sugamelli got a black flag for. Let's go back to live pictures here. And it is 2 laps to go, by the way. Here's the leader, Nicholas Shepard, cross the line. Definitely well within the 3 minutes. Actually, I've done my math wrong. This time by it should be 3 laps to go. Next time by it should be 2 to go. We'll see how things fare at the pace. But not sure what happened to Sugamelli. He got given a black flag, so unless he cut the corner somewhere, potentially a slowdown on the exit of the final corner, but even then, I'm not sure what that could have been from. He didn't spin off, so it wouldn't have been incident points. The unfortunate end, so the 3rd retirement of the race. Mateus also retired a little bit earlier as well, approximately about 6 minutes ago here. Well, let's continue watching this 6th place battle continue on. John Miller has closed the gap between himself and Matthew Bartlett, so we could have a race on for the 3rd place spot at the same time here, because last time by, a little bit slower was John Miller, but the pace this lap seems to be echoing something completely different. There is Nicholas Shepard. We'll take a look and see. We'll keep an eye on him on our track map to see when he decides to, or when he does make it across the start-finish line. And as of this moment, on the back bumper goes Genski. Now goes across. So we are at 2 laps to go this time by. Officially, here comes Genski, just making his way through, muscling his way through sideways on Tony Wallace. He's put offline, though. This is going to allow Matt Mullins to get through, show the nose a little bit. Coach goes wide. Was that enough for a slowdown penalty? Doesn't seem to be the case for now. Miller has made his way up to 3rd place, at least for the time being. It is 4 cars fighting for 1 position. Genski pushes Wallace off the racetrack. Wallace pushes him back just a little bit. Here comes Mullins. They're racing like it's the last lap, but it's not the last lap. Not yet. Unless the time says something else that we do not. But otherwise, John Miller has made his way up to 3rd place, by the way. He has made his way around Matthew Bartlett. That battle for 3rd place could still be on. That last spot on the podium up for grabs. But this battle for 6th place still headed by Tony Wallace, by Kyle Genski, by Matt Mullins, by Moreno, then Coates. It's like they weren't side by side on the front stretch. Oh, Wallace trying to keep the car in control. He doesn't, though. He slides off out of this battle, out of P6. That means Genski goes up to P6. He'll be on the defensive here. 15 seconds left on the clock. We should get, unless a shock checkered flag happens, we're going to take a look here real quick. 7, 6, 5. There it is. Final lap at the start-finish line. Okay, now we can go back to that battle for 6th place because it is still on. I think off track, dragging dust onto the track is Genski. Here comes Mullins, slides through on the last corner. He'll go around the outside. I think Genski may have cut the course. Does he have a slowdown is the question. It does not look like Genski has a slowdown of any sort. He'll stay defensive for 6th place. The battle for 3rd place is on as well, all while Nicholas Shepard leads. Here comes Moreno, side by side for 7th place, passes Mullins. He snipes that position away. For 3rd place, is it going to be John Miller III or Matthew Bartlett rounding out the final spot on the podium? We're going to have to come back to that battle here in a moment. For P6, followed along on your timing tower. Not sure if Bartlett is going to have a last gasp effort here to try and get that 3rd place spot. I don't believe since Road America of last season that we've seen John Miller III finish on the podium. I could be wrong about that, but he did get a win there Road America. I was right. I always get those two confused every single time. We'll stick with that battle here for a moment because Nicholas Shepard will round out the final corner this time and it's going to go down to the checkered flag. 2nd time this season, defending champion Nicholas Shepard wins at Rudskogen. Makes it 2 in a row. This season, Michael Folds will finish in 2nd. 3rd place, first podium since last season goes to John Miller III, appropriately places in 3rd. And the battle for 6th place, which now turned into 7th place, has sorted itself out. I've not seen any positions swapped on the timing screen, but there is basically the ending portion of your top 10. And there is still a battle here in the back for 12th place. Travis Ewart in 12th, Michael Verneau 13th, 14th place, Eric Nixon. And the battle is not done yet. They'll make their way out of the final corner. And they'll cross the start-finish line. Daniel DeLiberti does manage to hold off Kevin Kramer as well for 15th place on track. But man, what a race. Wow. I'm going to send it to the B-roll here just so we can take a moment and breathe and just take a moment to have everything sink in for a moment. But man, what a race. Battles through pretty much the entire bottom half of the top 10. Great driving by relatively everybody, I would say. I haven't seen anything, egregious. So I would say by default, great driving by everybody. I'll go ahead and throw up the results up onto your screen here. As finishing results have Nicholas Shepard with a dominant win over Michael Folds. Very polar opposite of what happened last week, where Ishmael Ublal had a chance. If the race maybe went on for one more lap, it could have been Ublal on the top step of the podium last week, separated by, I believe, only about, 2-3 tenths of a second, just about. But this week it is a staggering and emphatic 8.7 seconds between 1st and 2nd. John Miller III, appropriately enough, once again, places in 3rd. Good to see him back in the top 5. Once again, Matthew Bartlett finishes 4th. Charles Wolfe with a 5th place finish after separating himself from I think he actually recovered as well from, could be confusing with somebody else, I believe, but I believe he did spin out at some point. Actually, no, he did. He had a slowdown penalty of some sort in the opening laps, so dropped to about 9th, 10th place. So great recovery for Charles Wolfe by the end of these 30 minutes. Kyle Genski does manage to hold off Gregorio Moreno Jr., who held off Matt Mullins, who in turn held off Michael Coates for 6th through 9th place. Tony Wallace could have gotten away with a 6th place finish if he didn't lose control there. That corner is treacherous for multiple drivers this race. So not only Tony Wallace can at least maybe take a breath, a sigh of relief a little bit, and know that he's not the only one. There we go, caught out by that one corner. The rest of the field has Michael Rosa finishing in 11th place. Travis Ewart finishes in 12th. Michael Verneau finishes 13th. Eric Nixon finishes in 14th. Daniel DeLiberti finishing in 15th. Kevin Kramer, not the best of luck this race. He does finish still in the 16th place position. 17th place is Pete Loops, and then the drivers that did not finish, Frankie Sugamelli, Mateus, I think it's Ribeiro. It might be Ribeiro. Mateus tripping myself up. There we go. Mateus Ribeiro, could be pronouncing that incorrectly. He finishes 19th as a result of the DNF. Same with Ben Snell. Unfortunately, the first DNF of the race finishes in 20th. Well, that was a race and a half, wasn't it? I get to do it all over again next week. And, oh gosh, I'm actually excited for next week, because next week we head to the newly refreshed, newly rescanned Sonoma Raceway. Oh, I'm so excited. First time in, since probably I think 2009, just about, that Sonoma has been updated on the iRacing service. So a whole host of shiny new asphalt, some new billboards, new curbs. Everything's actually been paved. Nothing looks like it's from 2008. It's absolutely amazing to finally have Sonoma refreshed here. And this section is going to be treacherous for these drivers, because they will go not only through the S's of Sonoma turn 8, but they're going to be going down the long straightaway down into the chicane. And here's that mentioned chicane. This is what they'll have to deal with next week. So I believe the first time that Sonoma's back on the schedule since 2, if not 3 seasons ago. I know the last time we did a broadcast, it was, I believe Sonoma was involved as well, but they also have the narrow hairpin as well, the early hairpin down to the main straight. So it's going to be one heck of a race next week. We hope you join us next week on the Racing Line Network. Hope to see you again for another 30-minute race, this time at the Sonoma Raceway.